brother from Oblivion, the second horseman rode forth. And his name was Death.
Oh my god, this video has been a fucking nightmare. Like, it should have been done last Sunday, but then things just kept coming up, and it was fucking hell. And last night, I just got done finishing like a 10-page English assignment, so finally we can get this done out of the way. Now here's the problem. Someone told me I should read the comics before doing this How Powerful video. I still haven't had time to do that. But you know what? I was there like, no, How Powerfuls are based on the game. I do have, I believe, 1 or 2 feats from the comics, but because I went on the wiki to make sure. But I was like, you know what? If anything good in the comics pops up, I'm already planning on doing a further thoughts on this, so fuck it. We'll see what happens. And with that beautiful intro, let's get started. In terms of physical strength, Death can clash with demons like Samael, he's a very powerful demon. Let's just leave it at that. In the actual games, he ends up actually talking trash to both War and Death when he first meets them. But he talks trash to a near endgame Death, and he still talks trash to War throughout the entire game. So he's nothing to scoff at. He can clash with other Nephilim. He can hold his own against War, and he can also move around effortlessly giant boulders. And in his transformed state, he can easily cut through a massive chunk of stone. If there are any feats for War that I did not include, again, the comics made it sound like there were more feats, but since I like to focus more on games, superhuman strength easily. Let's just leave it at that. I don't do numbers here, so it's not that big a deal. In terms of speed, Death can keep up with the most powerful of angels. In fact, in the game, you actually give the angel Archon a very powerful angel staff that improves his light bending, improves his light powers and his overall power. So he launches energy attacks and light beams at you, and Death can dodge those. He can react to them. Also, he can, again, move fast enough to be comparable with demons like Samael, who in the actual game, there's a cutscene where Samael keeps teleporting around you, and Death instantly reacts to an opponent teleporting close to his vicinity. So it's actually a really cool scene. In terms of durability, while you can find several examples in the game of him taking hits, like being chucked through boulders, being forced down by Samael's kinetic strikes, or just being full-on impaled in the chest, because at the beginning of the game, the Crow Father is a character Death sort of makes fun of, so he ends up challenging Death essentially. That's not exactly how it goes down, but you know, it's a little bit late in the day. And he stabs War's sword straight through Death, but Death doesn't even flinch. He doesn't care. In fact, as soon as War's sword leaves, not only is the wound perfectly healed, but Death's just like, oh, well, he doesn't say anything, but he doesn't even notice it. Think Dante and Virgil when they get stabbed, but honestly, no, that's about right. Dante doesn't give a shit either. Yeah, think Devil May Cry healing factor here, if not better, truthfully, because well, actually it's around the same. We haven't seen War or Death get cut to pieces or anything, but in the comics, he was able to take a hit from a blade that instantly caused cells around to become necrotic. Essentially, the cells instantly died around it. But not only was he able to get fully stabbed by this blade, which killed the cells around it, along with where it cuts, he's still able to fight afterwards with his brother War. Despite the fact that even a very powerful angel in the games gets barely cut by it, and not only is he like fucking down for the count for a while, he's not dead, but he is severely, that wound never heals, and it's heavily implied that if he was any weaker, would have instantly killed him. So a light graze is enough to fucking just instantly basically body an angel. Also, he stated to be invincible, but I believe he stated a couple times to be invincible, and yeah, I could perfectly well believe it. Also, he's very agile, he's got great acrobatics, and he's got excellent climbing skills. Oh yeah, and this guy actually fights an enemy who is corrupting, I believe, if not all of existence, every single realm in Darksiders. We see him affecting we see him affecting the angels realm, we see him affecting the demons realm, and he's affecting the main realm. And Death can fight this being and actually beats him at the end of the game. So yeah, Death's no slouch here. Also, he's the leader of the Horsemen, and he's supposed to be the most powerful one. So yeah, he definitely shows that. But anyways, on to powers and abilities. Death is, as mentioned earlier, he's a very acrobatic and agile fighter. I'd say he seems to be a pretty good marksman and an excellent fighter for his scythes that he uses. Death can summon ghostly hands to pull things towards him, and vice versa. He can turn his physical body to stone and split his soul into 2 more Deaths to fight. He can teleport and slice people, obviously, like slice teleport. He can enhance his attack power without transforming. He can summon ghouls that can be upgraded to explode on Death and things of that nature. He can create an energy barrier around him. Honestly, I'm a little confused on this one. The wiki wasn't very clear. And then when I watched a video of some guy using the ability, it wasn't very clear if it was like an energy barrier, like a spirit barrier, a mist barrier. Some sort of barrier is happening here. If you play Darksiders 2, please feel free to enlighten me on that. He can summon a flock of crows, and he can unleash all his wrath or power essentially into one attack, which would obviously deal significantly more damage. In terms of weapons, Death uses a scythe called Harvester, which can shapeshift. Redemption, the other pistol from Strife. This one only has a 10-bullet chamber, and I assume it's more powerful than the other because the other one has, I believe, infinite ammo. So I would assume this one's more powerful. Death, like War, because I actually forgot to mention this in the last video, War does gain armor in the game. Death and War can both gain the Abyssal armor, which I believe is the most powerful armor in the game. And both Death and War have horses. I also forgot to mention this in the War video. I can't believe no one corrected me on it, or unless I mentioned it. I don't think I did. It wasn't in my script. So, Death has a horse named Despair and a crow named Dust to show him where to go, and War has a horse named Ruin. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot. I can't believe I forgot the fucking horsemen's horses. Amazing. It's been a really rough 2 weeks. Oh yeah, and finally, like War, Death can transform into a more powerful state. His being just a Grim Reaper. This form is obviously more powerful. It can fly. This form can telekinetically control the scythe. His scythe, leaving the form, causes an explosion that damages enemies. He does use this form often. I believe I said that War's form is invincible. I believe it's invulnerable in the game. I believe that's what happened. I'm not sure if Death's is. The wiki wasn't very clear on that one. If anyone could clarify that information, that would be splendid. And yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna forward to further thoughts on this one, because especially since a couple of weeks ago I did the Apocalypse 4 Horsemen, or the Horsemen of the Apocalypse in the PS1 game Apocalypse, talking about nanomachines, and this game looks like it has some really fun lore and really cool character designs. I really like the way the game looks. I've seen gameplay. I don't think it'd be my cup of tea. Maybe it just looks a bit like rough around the edges, but the design looks great and the lore seems really fun to actually learn about. And yeah, no, thank you guys for your time and patience with this one, and have a nice night.